Hi everyone. Today I am starting the video series on how to make a Twitter bot. In recent days, I've been teaching myself Node.js. So just to solidify the learnings, I want to make a Twitter bot. It's my first time. I don't know how it will pan out. I want to make it from scratch since I don't want to use any library which abstracts the very basic things. I want to do it myself in dirty way. Let's see how it goes. It will be a, I know it will be a very it will be a very learning experience for me, and I think these video series will serve as a reference for me in the future, and it will definitely help you all also. So let's jump. So I have shared my screen. I have created a folder, this Twitter bot. Some you can see. So this Twitter bot, I have already placed few files. Let it ignore default files I have placed. Node modules. It is. I have already made a remote repository on GitHub. So this is the GitHub. So you can see a few files. A lot of files are not there. So I have to push those changes from a local to the remote. I will do it. So just a basic setup I have made. You can see this app.js is there, nothing is there, and this package .json file is there, in which I have already installed a Nodemon just to make our lives easier. Okay, so let's see. Let's start. Let's configure these basic file setups. So first of all, let's add something in this app.js. Let's create a default HTTP server. Let's const HTTP equal to require. I don't want to use Express module as of now, but let's see. If I really need that, then I will install in future. But as of now, I will start with HTTP module only. So const HTTP require. So let's create a server. Our app const app equal to HTTP dot create server. What does So this is our server. We are using the create server method in HTTP. So let's add event listener to it. App dot on receiving the request event, we will run this callback. This callback. As of now, let's set. Okay, I have placed a bracket and wrong string. Okay. So let's set the headers first, which we have to do at first. So request dot write headers. Request dot write headers. So status code will be 200. Then let's set the message, which will just set. Let's set the type of response we will be sending back. So it is content type. It is small plain text we will send. Text slash plain. Okay. After this, let's send our response. Sorry. Sorry. I'm very sorry. It should be response, since we will be sending response, right? Let's me confirm again, right? Right head, yeah, this one only. Sorry, I'm sorry. I by mistake used to request, but I should have used response since we are sending that only. Response dot send. Let's send a simple hi and end our response. Let's add these. I have a habit of putting these at the end. So this is we are done, and now add a listener to it. App.listener. It will listen on a port which we have to define. Let's define it at the top. I will write like environment variables. We have to store the port. We will store the port in environment variables. Define environment variables. So first will be const port. Const port equal to process dot uh, what was that? Process dot get dot I'm forgetting now. Process dot get dot port or 8080. If it is not defined in the environment, then we will use this 8080 port. But I guess, sorry, this should be environment env. Process dot in env dot port. Yeah. So or 8080. uh, my system is little bit hanging. It's a very old system. I'm using that. So please excuse me for this. Yeah. So we will be defining our port in this .env file, which we have to create, of course. Let's create an env file using the terminal. I've already my current directory is twitterbot, which is the which is the folder where all these files are getting stored. I've already cd into the drive, working drive. So let's create a env file. So it is created, and now we will add our port to it. Port we have added. Yeah. So I think this semicolon is not needed. Uh, yeah. Now it will listen on a port, and once it receives a request, then we will fire a callback, which will console log like server responded. or server working, anything. Okay, I have to put that inside these columns. Server working. So now let's test this if it is working correctly or not. Uh, so load app.js. Let's see if there are any errors. So by the way, I'm using this Ubuntu terminal. I have installed WSL on my Windows since it is very easy to write the commands in in batch terminal than the command terminal of Windows. So there is some error. Yeah, I was thinking there will be an error on this. Okay, let me change it to 8080, or we can change like what we can do is we have to either change the name of this or this. Better I change the name of this only. env file server port. Let me add it. Our app, since our file is app underscore port equal to 8080, and let's copy this name to this thing. Oh, sorry, not this thing, but this thing. Yeah, I think there is something wrong in it, right? You also guys are also feeling this same. Let me check on Google only then. Uh, See, I have forgotten this simple basic thing. Please forgive me because I'm also learning like you. So, uh, const let me, oh, it is still loading. Process dot environment, it will read from the environment variable. And then I think it should be 8080 only. Okay. If the environment variable is defined, yes, now it is correct. Now it is correct. So I will control Z it. Yeah. So now what it is saying is if our port is defined as an environment variable, then take that. If not, then take this. And here we have defined our environment variable, which is this. So it will take 8080 already. Uh, so let's test it. Wait, huh? We will test it later on. So, and if we in future we serve our files to a server, and then we define some environment variables in that server, then it will take that value, not this value. We will test. No, wait, we will do something. We'll modify this port server. Now let's test our uh, now let's check. I hope this error will be gone by now. And I am also now reminded that I have to, since nodemon I have installed, so I have to use that nodemon. I can't close the server and again open it, right? It is a little hectic. So you can see server working. So it has so it has returned this one, right? So let's test our server on what is about 8080 port, localhost. I've already opened the localhost. Hmm. It is requesting. Let's see if our server returns anything. Sorry. I guess it is returning something. Let's check terminal window. Is there any message? No. So it should print this hi on our screen browser window. Yay! It is showing this hi. So we have succeeded it in making our just small server. And now I was saying like now let's check about those environment variables. Suppose our default port, suppose our environment port was 8000. Let's suppose means suppose the server where we will be hosting our files, there the port value is 8080, but we are defining our default value as uh, 8000. Suppose the port uh, in the server environment variable in the server is 8080, and we have defined the default as, sorry again, suppose the port defined in the server as environment variable is 8000, but our default port is 8080. So in this case it will still take this 8000 value, not 8080 value, because this condition will already be true when this will be defined. It won't reach here, so it will use 8000. So let's check whether it uses 8000 or not. So I have to close it, and this again reminds me to update the package.json file to configure it for Nodemon. So let's run again. Running. Now we will reload it. No, I guess it won't work. It should not work. It should not return anything. It should say like server error, not found. Yes. Now let's change the port to 8000. Let's change. Oh, yeah. Now enter. It is loading. Hey, still it's not running. Let's check. Is there any message? Yeah, it's a message. So what is this? Return is not a function. Oh, why? Okay, 80. Okay, let's check whether it is reading this or not. So we're working. This our server is on port 8000. No, it's not working. Okay, some issue. I have to learn this thing. But before that, let's check what is this value. What is it? This value console.log. Oh, sorry. I guess sorry, I forgot one thing. When we are when we are defining this process.env.port, our node application doesn't know this is the environment variable. We have to pass it from the command window, this terminal, from this terminal. So how we will do it is so there is no an inbuilt functionality where we can pass these environment variables from the terminal so that our node application can read. So this thing is only available beyond node 20 version. So my version is uh, So it is 21. So it will be that command will work in this 21 version. I'm forgetting that command. Let me check on Google. What was that command? Uh, Load environ variables from terminal node. Yeah, this one. We have to pass this these two env dash file double dash env dash file equal to dot env. This is dot env is the same where we are storing our environment variables. Okay, so let's add this. Then only that thing will be able to read it. So our environment variable was 8,000, and let's do this. So before we write node app.js, we have to enter the we have to enter the environment variables. Means we can't do this in node app.js, but node dash env dash file equal to dot env. Then let me hide this. Then our app.js. Then now this uh, process.env.port will have a value of 8,000. Earlier it was undefined. So now let's enter it. I have pressed enter. So it is taking some time. Let's see. Let's wait for a few minutes. Let me reconfirm this is same now. Yeah, close this. Open the terminal. Server working. It is working perfectly. So it is reading this. It is taking now. It is taking this value, and hopefully it will not run on 8080 port like before. Let's confirm this. 8080 reload. It should not work. Yes. Now change it to 8,000. Now it should work. Still not working. What is it? Response.send is not a function. Why? Let me write it again. Response dot. Okay, no issues. I will just do this response dot end. Maybe it is not. I'm not remembering correctly. I will check it. Response dot end. Now again run it. Server working. Now it should work on 8,000. Please this time. Yes, it is working. And if I change it to 8080, which was our default port, see this one, uh, it will not work on this port now. Yes, so let me change it back to 8,000, which is the which we have defined it here. So now it is reading this. So right, so this is how we are defining our port as environment variable. Let's save it. So we have just set up our basic the server. Uh, we have to do a lot of things in this. So let's go to the Twitter developer website. There only we will be able to read the documentation about Twitter API. Okay, so this is the Twitter developer API. So you have to go to this developer.twitter.com and you have to log in from your Twitter ID. I've already logged in. Sorry. So you can see, so these are the documentation, and this is the Twitter API which we will be using. Yes. Fundamentals. So let's go to developer apps. If you have existing apps, you can view, edit, delete them via Twitter developer portals app page. So what it is like, I have already gone through few of these articles. It is saying like uh, we have to create an account on app developer portals app page. There is a page which Twitter call it as app. So on that app, we have to generate few keys and tokens like API key and secret key, access token and secret, client ID, client secret, all these things. So you can see here what it is written. API key and secret, essentially the username and password for your app. So since we are building an app here, this is a kind of app only, right? So which is a third party, it is not connected to a Twitter. So once we make a request to the Twitter API through our app, this app.js, the Twitter has to verify whether it is a genuine source or fake source, right? Fake request source. So just to verify it, we have to generate these API keys and secret and pass it with our request, which our application will send to the Twitter. So it will verify using these API key and secret key. It is saying like API key is a username and secret is a password for our app. So these you will use these to authenticate requests that require OAuth 1.0 user context. So Twitter is following OAuth 1.0 a version. This is a totally new thing. I have no idea what authentication, OAuth, all this means. I am totally It is also totally new for me, and I will also learn with you, along with you. I will also read it. I haven't also read it, so I have opened it in a separate tab. Let's see what it shows. Then second is access token and secret. In general, access token represents the user that you are making the request on behalf of, represents the user that you are making on behalf of. So what this means is, since our app is making the request on our behalf, so Twitter will know, okay, so this app is making our request on my behalf. The Twitter should know on whose behalf this app is making the request, because Twitter doesn't know this app belongs to us, right? We only know, Twitter doesn't know. So so to make sure like Twitter also knows it, we have to generate these access tokens and secret key, represent the user. The ones that you generate via the developer portal represent the user that owns the app. Okay, you will use these to authenticate requests that require this. If you would like to make a request on behalf of another user, okay, the client ID is these credentials are used to obtain user access token. Similar to this, the user access are used to authenticate requests that provide private user and perform actions on behalf of another account. So something, I think we won't need this app only access. So we have to open this app portal. You can use apps and projects to help organize developer portal dashboard. So it is here we have to generate these API key and secret key. Okay. I have already stored those API key values in this .env file. If I show you, so these are all the key API key. These are all the secret keys like API key, secret key, bearer token, access token secret. These all are generated in the Twitter developer app. Uh, you have to save it somewhere once you generate it first time. Now you have to save it somewhere, because Twitter says it only shows these key values only once for safety reasons. And I'm not showing these values to you because these are very confidential. You don't want to expose these values to the public domain. So that is why I've hidden these values. So once you generate it, then only we will be able to authorize our app, which is this Node app, to gain access to our Twitter account. Okay. this authentication page as we were discussing earlier. We have to read about this OAuth 1.2a. Let's come here. So a lot of things are defined here. Like, please, if you aren't familiar with concepts such as this and parent encoding, we recommend that you check out this useful tools. Okay, so I don't know this about this term. I want to know. I want to learn about this. Let's see. Uh, so if you come to this authorizing a request page, like what I have done is first come to authentication, because this is the first step we have to do. Means any request we will be sending, our first request we have to send some authentication credentials so that Twitter knows this is the authentic source, the app is authentic, it has got all the permissions on our behalf to tweet on it, right? So we have to read about this authentication. I have no idea right now, and we will learn all together. So if you come to this OAuth 1.2a and then authorizing a request, any request we have to authorize it, any request. So, and here if you go to this 1.2 protocol, it will open a link, this thing. So this is the same, this is the standard OAuth 1.2 protocol. So in this, everything you will come to know about this OAuth, what this OAuth is, why to need it, right? Introduction. See this term, this is there, which was defined in that article, right? So everything is defined here. It has total 38 pages. So it will be a very informative thing to know, to learn, right? So introduction, I have to read this. I will read this in total, and will let you guys know what this was, and we will continue further, right? Right. So it will take some time. So it will take some time. So let me pause it here, and then after reading everything, I will come and explain in condensed form, because it is 38 pages is a lot, right? Thank you so much.